Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Herbal, if you don't already know. And today I wanted to talk about 5 herbal books written by Black people that I have in my house. Now, it turns out that I only have 5 herbal books written by Black people in my house. And it has been a struggle to find Black herbal books that I can afford. All the other ones I had from my herbal program when I was learning how to be a herbalist. So I have a lot of books from when I was learning how to be a herbalist and when I first started my herbal journey. So those books, I have a bunch of those in my house. But what I don't have is herbal books by Black people. And so I only have 5 at the moment. But I'm sure that I'll get more throughout the years. I personally would love to write my own book. I'm trying to think of books to write. I have a few, but I'm also not a writer, so. But, I have information, so I can put it on a page, right? So, that's what I'm going to do. So, of the books that I have, the first book that I have is Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. This is actually a really amazing book. It's not just herbs, it's all kinds of magic and comedic practices involving womanhood and increasing your sacred femininity. And it's actually very beautiful. It does have a lot of herbs in it, but it also has rituals and all kinds of other things in it. Ways of being. And it's a pretty cool book for anyone who is interested in, increasing their femininity through the power of herbs and natural practices and also spirit work. Very good book. You've probably seen it before. She's very well known. The next book is African Holistic Health. It's a textbook by Layla O. Africa, who is a doctor. But I think he's a naturopathic doctor, and I'm honestly not 100% sure of his credibility. But also, some of the information is very interesting. Like, it has a lot of herbs and remedies and supplements, and it's very specific to Black people in general. When Black people, there's a few things in here that talk about how Black people process things, and it has a lot of information on all the specific diseases that Black people have, and a good diet for Black people and things like that. Though over the years, after really researching nutrition, I've come to the conclusion that everybody's body is different and each person processes things in their own specific way. And that's one of the things for me. I was trying to find the best diet for Black people. But the best diet for Black people is an individualized diet that is made specifically for them based on their specific needs. And so that's what I've come to that conclusion. But this book still does have a lot of really good information on reading, diagnosis and treatment of certain things. Great, has a lot of dosage information and things like that. So it's a pretty good book to supplement your herbal knowledge. Of course, always make sure that you double check everything. It's a textbook, but like I said, it's only one person. He's not double checked in here. And a lot of the time with textbooks, you need to be double checked with other people. So, but there's only so much you can do because no one is supporting Black people. So definitely support this book. Working the Roots, I've talked about this book before. I love this book because it actually has interviews with people who have got information passed down from generation to generation. When it comes to Black people, a lot of our stuff is just words. We pass things down through word of mouth, and it's really hard to get a lot of our information because a lot of it isn't written down. And this book has all this information of different ways that Black people have incorporated herbal medicine and magic and all kinds of things into their lives over the years, which is absolutely beautiful because Black people have this natural affinity for magic and and this natural affinity for connecting to the spirits that God has created on this earth. And so the fact that we are able to do that, and even after all the stuff that's happening, it's just beautiful to see this book. And it has so much information, things I didn't even know about, like pot liquor, the greens, the juice from the greens is so good for you. And it just never occurred to me that it's literally a decoction of greens and spices. Like, oh my gosh, duh. Like, and we've been eating greens for years. Greens are like my favorite thing in the whole entire world. I love greens. So it's just kind of amazing that that we've been doing that for many, many years. It's the reason why we're still alive, even after eating all the stuff that's actually been killing us, but this book is very great. I love this book. This is one of my favorite ones when it comes to Black herbalism, specifically herbalism here in America, in the United States, because we are often forgotten from African herbalism and herbalism in general. We had to take care of ourselves for so long, and this is just a testament to all the things we did to take care of ourselves, even when we had no one else helping us take care of ourselves. So this is amazing. I'm really happy about it. It's one of my favorite books. A Healing Grove by Stephanie Rose Bird. All right, Working the Roots is by Michelle E. Lee. Stephanie Rose Bird. I love her books because when I first started reading this specific book, I identify with her so much. Like, I identify with her on a whole nother level because one of the things I constantly, deal with is this, who am I? I know I'm Native. I know I'm Black. And it's always cool to say that you're Native American. Like, everybody wants to be Native American. But that makes me feel weird, like the fact that we always want to be Native American. Because for me, it's like, it's just a part of my history that was stolen from me. Like, that's how I feel about it. I know of the people who were in my family. And I just feel like it was stolen from me because they didn't want to be put on a census and tracked like animals, and stuck on a reservation. So my family decided not to identify as Black, and not to identify as Native, and forget their whole history, which is insane, on both sides of my family from the same exact tribe. Excuse me. On both sides of my family from the same exact tribe, both my mom and my dad. While looking for my dad's side of the family, who has pictures of the person in Creek dress, while looking for them, I found my mom's side of the family. Excuse me. Oh, it's weird. While looking for my dad's side of the family, I found my mom's side of the family. But also just the idea, when I found this book, I had started looking at trees very differently. And this book kind of perpetuated my love of the trees. Like, I never really cared about trees that much until I kind of started going through my shaman training and I started paying more attention to the trees. And then I found this book and I was like, wow, the trees are like our grandmothers, and it was crazy. And then it just really connects everything for me. In the beginning, she kind of talks about, like African American, like spirit, and their, it's a good book. Read it. I love this book. Last but not least, this is one of my most expensive books, and it is actually a textbook. It's very great. I love this book. It is The Handbook of African Medicinal Plants. I can say this. The Handbook of African Medicinal Plants. It is by Maurice Iwu, M.E.W., and he is African. And it just has so many plants in Africa, because Africa is ginormous. Of course, it has all these plants, and no one ever talks about them except in relative to European knowledge of them, and that just kind of makes me annoyed. There's been people using them for years, but yeah, let's go off on how the Europeans used it this way, so that must be its only use. Like, that bothers me. So I was really excited to find this book. I love this book. It even goes into how how herbalists are usually chosen or created in Africa, which is directly correlated with how herbalists are created or made here. You know, a lot of the stuff just like carried over by accident. Things we didn't even know, it just happened. It's just natural, you know, and it's amazing. And this book is really great. It's got so much information. There are so many herbs in this book. If you are really looking for just a book on a ton of African herbs, this one is a really good one, and what they do and where they are and how they are used in that specific region that they're in, which I really love because, like I said, I'm tired of seeing books talk about how Europeans used the herbs, and there was people living there well before the Europeans got there who were using the herbs first, and we never talk about how they used them, and that's what I love about this book. So that's all my books that I have in my house. And so thank you for sharing this with me. I know some people have been asking me this question a lot, and I have not actually had the chance to just get everything together and put it down on paper, so I'm going to put it in this video, and I hope that you like this video. Thank you guys so much for joining me again, and I hope you have an amazing day, and please like and subscribe to my channel if you like this video. Bye!